Hello and welcome to the launch for the National Awards of 2022. Each year, St. Lucians are celebrated and awarded for excellence and for their contributions to the society in various fields. And that takes place with an investiture ceremony. And we're happy to have with us today for discussion on what the award ceremony is going to look like for 2022. We are with us the chair of the National Awards Committee, Mrs. Mauricia Thomas Francis, as well as a member of that committee, Ms. Sharon Ephraim. Ladies, thank you so much for taking the time and coming through to discuss with us in something of a sort of launch of the awards ceremony for 2022. Madam Chair, the awards has been going on for a number of years now, and I'm just curious to find out your thoughts on how we have been able to manage, not just through the pandemic, but what the award ceremony has been, the meaning of the award ceremony to our society as a whole.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, St. Lucians up at home and in the diaspora. I think it's fitting for me to take this opportunity to extend New Year greetings to all of you, the team at GIS, as well as fellow citizens. I cherish the opportunity to be here today. As you were aware, as you quite rightly mentioned, every year we launch the National Independence Awards nomination process, and this year is no different. While we are a bit late due to extenuating circumstances, and we apologize to the citizens of St. Lucia for the lateness, we are here today, and we are expecting that by the time we are finished sharing information and sensitizing citizens, that they will be inspired in the usual manner to submit nominations to us. Indeed, we have begun receiving nominations because some people, you know, they are ahead of the game. They know it's coming up, and they are keen on ensuring that they nominate deserving St. Lucians to receive honor and acclaim at the independence celebrations next month. Over the years, we have done a number of PR activities, and this year is no different. Following this event, we are going to do our road shows. We will be on the radio stations and you know, in fact, all the electronic media. We are also going to be promoting via the various talk shows. We are going to go to the service clubs and sensitize them. We are sending letters to the various community service organizations to invite nominations, and that's what we do every year. So by the time we are finished, we are hoping to receive quite a large number of nominations. I want to thank fellow citizens for the time they've taken over the years to submit nominations. Last year, for example, and the year before, we had an unprecedented number of high quality nominations, and we are hoping that this year, despite the lateness, it will be no different. Of course, I just want to say that, you know, while we receive an unprecedented number, we are constrained by quota, and in a while I'm going to talk about the various classes of award and give you the description as you requested, and that will give people a sense as to, you know, why we are constrained, because we have quotas in each category which preclude us from awarding every single person. You know, we go for the best, and that is how we've been doing it. So you spoke about the investiture ceremony. Let me just talk about our role as a committee. Our role as a committee is to promote, sensitize, and invite nominations. When the nominations are received, we sit, we review, and we make a selection. We select the best, and we select those that fit the criteria. As you are aware, and as the public probably would remember, the National Awards, Independence Awards, is governed by an act. It's governed by an act of parliament, and that act is Cap 17.8, and an amendment number 18 was done in 2015 to enhance the program. So under that act, we are required to ensure that we stick to the criteria and select persons who are deserving, strictly in accordance, like I said, with what is set out in that act. So we go through, we select, and we make recommendations to the Prime Minister, who further reviews, and upon his completion, he submits to the Governor General. Once we've done that, as a committee, our job is done. However, we do offer voluntary assistance to the team at Government House to organize the investiture ceremony. Last year we had to give tremendous help because by virtue of COVID, we had to instead of having a physical investiture ceremony, we had to go virtual for the first time. And this year, given where we are, I have no doubt we will do the same thing. So following the submission to the Governor General, the winners are contacted and advised that they've been selected for an award, but an announcement is made at the independence celebrations on the 22nd of February, where the whole country gets to be informed as to who have won awards under the various categories. And usually about a week or two after independence, then we have the investiture ceremony where we celebrate the winners, and we put, the Governor General put on the insignia, and we speak about, what they are being honored for. Let St. Lucians know the reason why, we figure they are fitting to receive such an honor. And of course, by so doing, the expectation is that we are inspiring other people to emulate what they've done and inspiring others to submit even more nominations in the future.
And then that's certainly picking up from where the Nobel Laureate Festival would have left off.
Absolutely.
We continue to celebrate the excellence of our people.
Absolutely.
So let's tell individuals, according to the Act, how do you go about identifying someone for nomination?
Okay. In accordance with the Act, there are 6 classes of awards. And if you permit me, I will just go through that for the benefit of our viewers. Firstly, we have the St. Lucia Cross. And the class in which we honor is the gold. So we have St. Lucia Cross Gold, and it is awarded to persons who have rendered distinguished and outstanding service of national importance to St. Lucia. And we have, in any one year, no more than 3 awardees, 2 nationals, and 1 non-national in an honorary capacity. So that is why you would have heard in years past we have given honorary awards to persons who are not St. Lucians, but who have rendered service to St. Lucia of national importance.
Now these individuals, should they be residents of St. Lucia?
Not necessarily.
They do not need to be residents?
They do not need to be residents of St. Lucia. For example, last year, we gave an honorary award to a gentleman, an English gentleman, who had helped the Royal St. Lucia Police Force tremendously with training, and so on. So it's not, the person doesn't necessarily have to be a St. Lucian. I think D.C. Bush Stewart,
yes,
got an honorary award, St. Lucia Cross, last year. Mm-hmm. So the person doesn't have to be resident in St. Lucia. And under that category, the total number of awardees shall not exceed 40 at any one time. Now, don't ask me how much. I know we are within the quota, but I cannot recall where we are now, but we are within the quota. In terms of the other category, the St. Lucia Medal of Honor, and this one is awarded in gold and silver, and it is awarded to a person who has rendered eminent service of national importance to St. Lucia, or has performed an outstanding, brave, or humane act to a national of St. Lucia, demonstrating conspicuous courage in circumstances of extreme peril. And this award may be bestowed posthumously. So we have 3, the quota there is 3. And in terms of silver, the other category is silver, a person who has rendered eminent service of national importance to St. Lucia only for acts of bravery in hazardous circumstances. And again, this honor may be bestowed posthumously, and we have a quota of 3 in that category. The St. Lucia Medal of Merit is the other category, and this is awarded in gold and silver to a person who has performed long and meritorious services in the arts, literature, sciences, or other such fields in St. Lucia. And we award 3 in gold and 3 in silver. So that's the quota. The St. Lucia Le Piton Medal, and this one, the classes are gold, silver, and bronze. Persons who have performed long and meritorious service to St. Lucia tending to promote loyal public service, national welfare, or to inculcate and strengthen community spirit. And we award 3 in each category. So that is 9 in the St. Lucia Le Piton. The last 2, the St. Lucia National Service Cross, that may be awarded to an officer of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force not below the rank of deputy, the fire chief, or an officer of the prison service not below the rank of deputy, and of course, chief prisons officer. Officers must have rendered loyal and devoted service beneficial to St. Lucia. The National Service Cross may be awarded also posthumously, and we have 2. The quota is 2 in that regard. The other one, the St. Lucia National Service Medal, and that may be awarded for outstanding and meritorious service to members of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, the St. Lucia Fire Service, the St. Lucia Prison Services, and officers of the Cadet Corps. And again, we award 2. So that's just to give an idea as to the categories, the classes, and the description of the awards. I just want to state here that in terms of the role of the committee, we have a committee which consists of individuals of high integrity, professionalism, maturity, fairness, objectivity, such that when we are reviewing the nominations, we do so with the utmost care, the utmost integrity to ensure that at the end of the day, we select the creme de la creme. I know from time to time, citizens submit nominations, and they are disappointed when those nominations do not win. There are 2 things I want to say about that. Because of the quotas, not everybody who's nominated will win. However, there is an opportunity that if someone is nominated this year and does not win, a resubmission can be done the following year or in subsequent years for consideration. People don't do that, but I think the public need to know that it is okay to do that. We as a committee cannot go in the file and pick up the nomination forms of last year and determine, let me see who I have there that I can honor. But a resubmission will give us the opportunity for us to review and make a selection where merited when we compare what we have before us. So I just wanted to make that point. The other thing I want to also mention, if you permit me, is that a lot of people do not attach the level of importance to this honor as they should. Some people believe if they are nominated, that they should only receive gold. Whether you receive gold or you receive silver or you receive bronze, I think the accolade is significant. It is very significant. And I just want to take a few minutes to let the viewers know that in order of importance, there are designations that go along with receiving those honors. For example, a person to whom a St. Lucia Cross is awarded is entitled to have the letters SLC behind their names. And this is important, to have the letters so people recognize you as someone of a high caliber in society, somebody who has contributed, somebody who has the capacity to be able to inspire others, and so on. Also, there's an insignia that can be worn to special events, after receiving the award, and that is the insignia that is bestowed at the investiture. So they pin that on them, and everybody knows, hey, this is an astute St. Lucian, because it is displayed. In terms of, and then also the word honorable can precede their names once they have been awarded the St. Lucia Cross.
And for the St. Lucia Cross? For
the St. Lucia Cross, yes. A person to whom the Medal of Honor is awarded is entitled to have the letters SLMH behind their names, and the Medal of Merit, SLMM, and the person who's received the Lepitor Medal, SLMP. So you could see it's a very prestigious award. In terms of the National Service Cross, NSC. NSC is the designation that goes along with the person's name on whatever documentation, whatever correspondence that they issue. So it is a very prestigious award and honor, and I want our citizens in St. Lucia and the diaspora to treat it as that, and to also recognize and appreciate those persons who have been so honored. And this year I am looking forward to receiving, we are looking forward to receiving even more nominations, so that we can honor, because we do know, Lisa, that in our communities there are so many unsung heroes. I meet people who say to me, this lady around the corner, she's been doing such great work, why is it you all never gave her an award? And I have to say, well, look, we as a committee cannot give her an award. Please nominate her. There are lots of unsung heroes, and I think we as a committee, we have the responsibility to go out there and promote, which we have been doing, but our citizens have the responsibility to actually submit the nominations. And I want to thank all those who have taken the time in the past to do so.
And that's the thing as well. Over the years, while individuals know of people, or you hear about the stories of individuals who are doing all of the work, it's important for someone to take the time out to be able to nominate that individual, because without a nomination, there is no awarding. And so, for someone who would be interested in nominating someone, how do you go about doing that? Just speak to us about that, Sharon.
Yes, thank you, Lisa. Good morning to listeners out there. Good morning to St. Lucian citizens in St. Lucia and in the diaspora. Thank you, Chair, as well. We are inviting all citizens from the various communities, Lisa, around the island to seek out the unsung heroes who deserve national recognition and acclaim, and to submit nominations to the National Awards Committee for consideration. And they can do that by the nomination forms. First of all, let me tell you where the nomination forms they can receive the nomination forms. Nomination forms can be accessed on the website at governorgeneral.gov.lc/awards, or at local libraries, post offices, sub-post offices, constituency councils, and at the Office of the Prime Minister, which is located in the Graham Louise Administrative Building, the Waterfront Castries. Completed nominations must be sent in a sealed envelope and addressed to the Secretary, National Awards Committee, care of Office of the Prime Minister, Graham Louise Building, Administrative Building, Waterfront Castries. So that is where they can actually get the forms, and that is where they can submit the forms. They can also submit the forms online at recognition@govt.lc. That is recognition@govt.lc. nition.govt.lc. All nominations must be made on the prescribed form, and all submissions must provide justification for the award proposed and must bear the name and signature of the individual making the submission. Both name and signature must be legible. Nomination forms must be completed in its entirety. You're not supposed to leave anything out. Remember, deadline for the submission of nominations is 28th of January, 2022. Nominations received after the deadline will not be considered. And of course, the committee would have need time to be able to go through all those nominations. So we cannot really look at nominations that we get in after the deadline, because it will just put us in some, sort of confusion and not being able to do what we have to do to reach our deadline, because we ourselves have a deadline. So the justification of the award is as follows. A statement of service rendered must be provided to reflect full details of national interests performed by the nominee, and in your opinion, the quality of that performance. And another one is that all facts must be stated clearly and concisely. State whether the service was performed in or out of St. Lucia. Like you heard a while ago, it is not only citizens in St. Lucia, it can be out of St. Lucia. Whether the nominee has ever been rewarded or recognized for any of the awards previously, that is important as well. If applicable, the names and addresses of any beneficiaries must be provided. That is very important. Note that simple providing a curriculum vitae is not sufficient. We would need more information. Nominations submitted without the statement of service rendered will not be considered. So you must give us all information stated on the nomination form. So again, we look forward to receiving nominations from all communities and to once again make recommendations for honoring our unsung heroes. Yeah.
So if someone had been awarded some other national award, does that disqualify the individual?
Not at all, not at all. Because somebody could have received a St. Lucia Medal of Merit
and now?
Previously, and the person is being nominated for St. Lucia Medal of Honor. There's nothing wrong with that. Or Le Piton Medal. There's nothing wrong with that. So it depends on the category. You cannot be recognized for the same award in the same category twice.
Okay, but it doesn't preclude you from
It doesn't preclude you from being nominated for another category.
But they just have to give that information on the form so that we can be aware of that they have already received an award before and in what category. That's important.
Thanks.
And in the statement that you need to produce, because some people we get, what am I supposed to write about the individual? What is some of the guidance that you would give? Because you want your nominee to be able to win. So what is is there a sort of structure that they should follow in writing that statement for the nominee?
Yes, thanks. So thank you very much, Ms. Ephraim. So in writing the recommendation or the citation, if you like, details must be given around what the person actually did, what impact the person's activity, action, or deeds had on the community, on an individual, on the society, or if we're talking about somebody who has committed acts of bravery, what exactly did the person do? Is it a fireman who actually jumped into the flames to try and save somebody during a fire? It has to be specific, graphic, if you like, so that we get a picture and a sense as to what the person actually did and how it benefited the person who was impacted. So that is very, very important. We need to know which community or communities that the person has served, so that, you know, because as a committee in reviewing these nominations, we live in St. Lucia. So if you tell us that this person who is from Soufrière performed all these philanthropic activities and it impacted the town of Soufrière and so on, somebody on the committee would probably have knowledge and say, yes, yes, I know this person. Yes, I can vouch for what is being said. So we need enough details to make that level of determination. That does not mean if we are not able to verify what is written, that we would deny somebody an award, because at the end of the day, we expect persons who are submitting nominations to be persons of integrity, persons who are honest, so that the information is authentic. We expect authenticity in the submission of those nominations. But the more details, viewers, fellow citizens, the better for us to be able to make a determination. And in selecting the category that has to be awarded, there must be due care not to tick more than one. You cannot select somebody for more than one award on a nomination form. It has to be one. So if it's silver, you tick silver. If it's Medal of Merit gold, you say gold. If it's bronze, whatever the case may be, you must tick. Because sometimes what happens, we receive very good write-ups, very good recommendations. The CV supporting that is excellent, but the form is not completed properly. And we as a committee cannot determine, okay, they left out this section, I believe this is where the person qualifies, so let us select the person for that. That's not our role, to determine where to fit people, in which category to fit people. The nomination form has to be completed in its entirety, as my colleague said, such that when we sit and we deliberate and we review, we are looking at the complete picture.
And I think a lot of people are under the impression, so it's good that you're able to mention that and point it out, that some people are of the opinion that you, as a committee, decides on whether the individual gets the gold, the silver, or the bronze.
No.
And so today you are now understanding that no, when you go in and you're making that application, you are indeed ascribing what it is that you would like the individual to receive.
Yes, thanks. Lisa, I just want to state quickly that people who are nominated, it is expected that they would show appreciation and gratitude to the persons who take time to nominate them. A lot of times you find persons complaining that, and we've had instances where people have been nominated for silver and bronze and they don't show up to receive it, they say they don't want it. And the point is, somebody in your community has recognized your great effort, has recognized your great contribution to nation building and development, and has taken the time, because it takes time to do that, has taken the time to submit a recommendation such that you can be honored. And some people tell you, why a silver, why a bronze, I don't want that. Actually, like I said, we've had persons who have not shown up to collect their awards because they are not happy that they didn't get a gold. And I am saying there must be a sense of gratitude, because it takes time for someone to sit down and write the form. It takes time and effort to get it to the secretary. It takes time for us to sit and do the review and so on. And because it is such a prestigious honor, and I described a while ago what that honor means, I think we should, as a citizen, show greater appreciation for being nominated.
And you mentioned being able to use honorable before the names of
St. Lucia, that's for the St. Lucia Cross. Yes.
Right. And so they can use this on their letters,
and people can
at
address
functions,
them as that.
And people can address them as that.
Very
and
well.
again, to just really emphasize how much of a prestigious award it is. So it's like, being at the Olympics.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't
Absolutely.
see an athlete because they've gotten the bronze, perhaps deciding to walk off and, I don't want the bronze or something. But it really, and you're right, Chair, that this is about St. Lucia.
Yes.
And it is about how your contribution is so interwoven into the fabric of the society.
Absolutely.
That you are part and parcel of something that's bigger than you, and how your contribution is propelling the development of the country. And so we need to think of it in that sense.
Yes.
We want to take a moment and just refreshen your minds of some of those who have been awarded before. And Roger, if we can go to the first video, that would be great.
Zephrinus Joseph, for having performed long and meritorious service in the field of sports, long-distance running. The holder of national records for every outdoor track and road event from the 1500 meters to the marathon, Zephrinus Knockney Joseph is the island's most decorated long-distance runner. Between 2003 and 2009, he won the OACS half marathon 5 times. A graduate of the Miku Secondary School, Zephrinus went on to receive athletic scholarships to Central Arizona College and the University of North Florida. He made his mark on the Central American and Caribbean CAC Games, setting personal, national, and course records. In 2002, Zephrinus was hit by a car while on a morning run, but he made a full recovery, and that year he was named the NCAA Division II Co-Athlete of the Year. In that same year, Zephrinus made the Sports Illustrated Faces in the Crowd page. Zephrinus was the flag bearer for St. Lucia at the opening ceremony of the 20th Olympiad. Upon his return to St. Lucia, the community of Monaco renamed a street in his name, Knockney Avenue, in recognition of his accomplishments. Zephrinus was twice named St. Lucia's Sportsman of the Year, 2006 and 2009. He has also worked with a number of young people and organizations in the community of Monaco and Miku North at large. He has assisted in organizing one of the biggest sporting events in the community, the annual Monaco Road Relay. For his outstanding accomplishments in the area of distance running, Mr. Zephrinus Joseph is awarded the St. Lucia Lepitor Medal, Gold. St. Lucia Lepitor Medal, Silver. Junior Teresa Emmanuel Belize, for having performed long and meritorious service in the field of sports, Special Olympics. Mrs. Junior Emmanuel Belize joined Special Olympics St. Lucia in 1994 as a volunteer coach. In 2002, she revitalized the program and took on the role of national director after the passing of the former director. Mrs. Emmanuel Belize has dedicated her time to develop her skill as a coach and that of all the athletes under her care. She demonstrates compassion and love for her athletes, ensuring that they remain competitive and enjoy the sport of their choice. She has also advocated for parents and community participation. The results of her hard work and commitment is apparent in the achievements of Team St. Lucia at the recent World Games in Abu Dhabi, UAE, winning gold medals in soccer. Mrs. Belize is also a mentor and confidant to parents and athletes under her care. She believes in the philosophy of Special Olympics that competition among those of equal ability is the best way to test athletes' skill and inspire them to grow. She also believes that inclusion in society's activities and participation in sporting activities help people with intellectual disabilities become physically fit and grow mentally, socially, and spiritually. For her dedication to the field of Special Olympics, Mrs. Junior Emmanuel Belize is awarded the Lepitor Medal, Silver. Mr. Gary Earl Matherin.
And just to look there
For having
at
performed
some of the
long and
individuals who've been
meritorious service
awarded,
in the
last
field
year,
of
and as you
sports,
spoke about the
cricket.
virtual, we had to go virtual,
Gary
and so
Matherin
from last
is
year's ceremony. And while the piece was running, Junior Bedizer can remember her. She's a brand prefect, at school with me, and so dedicated to being able to help others from, back then. And as a tiny tot there at the school, I would see her with the netball team and so forth. And so through the years, she's continued with that passion. And I've also seen that work with the special needs community. The children, they love her. And it was such a joy when they won that medal at the World Cup. So for St. Lucians who are giving of their all every day, and as we've been saying, that it's really just capping off what they've been able to accomplish, because we all go out there and we do our part, and it's the furthest thing from your mind that you're doing it for an award. You're doing it because, one, you love St. Lucia, you're a citizen, you're an active citizen, and certainly you're doing it for the betterment of country and your countrymen. And so to be able to receive the award just really solidifies that what you've been doing has not gone unnoticed by others. So it is definitely something that all of St. Lucia should participate in.
Absolutely.
And so we want to remind them again of the deadline for the nomination process.
So the deadline for the nomination process in submitting those forms is the 28th of January 2022. So you don't have much time because we are running a little late on our schedule, so the sooner they can submit the forms, the better.
Right. Yeah. Excuse me, Lisa, if I may. Thank you very much, Sharon. I forgot to mention, in dealing with the different categories of awards, I just want to mention, in respect of the St. Lucia National Service Cross and St. Lucia National Service Medal, which relates to the uniform units, the police, fire service, correctional facility, and so on. These nominations do not come from the general public, but instead by the Public Service Commission and, of course, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, the commissioner and his team. As a matter of fact, I should mention here that the composition of our committee is 7. We have 7 members. The Commissioner of Police is represented on that committee. The chair of the chair of the Public Service Commission is also on the committee, and that is by virtue of the act itself. The act requires that these individuals serve on the committee. These are permanent positions. So it's not the individuals, but whoever sits in that position represents. And of course, the other persons, we have 1 person representing the leader of the opposition. We have 2 people representing the government. And of course, the secretary is recruited by the Governor General on the advice of the Prime Minister, and as well as the chair. So I just felt I would mention, so the public can have an appreciation as to the composition of our committee, and the appreciation that everybody involved are people of integrity, people who are mature and professional, and that they should have no fear that when we sit and we deliberate and we review, that we are doing so with the utmost level of fairness, objectivity.
I think one of the things I've heard over the years, people figure that the awards are really for older citizens, senior citizens, but that's not the case, is
That's
it?
not the case. Last year, Gary Matherin, who is fairly young, and he's made a significant contribution in the field of sports, he was honored. Darren Sammy, if I remember correctly, Darren Sammy has been honored. There are quite a few young people, but you are right. I think we can get more, and we expect to get more nominations to recognize some of the young people who are doing tremendously well in our community. If you say to me that, the variance between the young and the older ones is huge, I would say yes. So we are asking persons, our citizens, to go out and seek out our young people who are doing great work.
This is not about years lived, but impact. Yes, it's
absolutely.
about impact.
It's about impact, absolutely. So, like I said, in recent times, we've been receiving a number of them, but we can receive more. I think we can do better as a society to recognize those persons.
You were saying, Sharon?
Yeah, I just wanted to again recap where the nomination forms can be accessed. So they can be accessed on the website of the Governor General, that is governorgeneral.gov.lc/awards, or at local libraries, post offices, sub-post offices, constituency councils, all the constituency councils, and at the office of the Prime Minister. Of course, we know the office of the Prime Minister is located at the Graham Louise Administrative Building, and that is at the Waterfront, Castries. And of course, the completed nomination forms must be sent in a sealed envelope to the Secretary, National Awards Committee, care of the Prime Minister's office, and at that same building, the Graham Louise Building. I just want members to know that they can get the forms they can access the forms at those locations. So that's important.
And the sealed envelope also speaks to the integrity of the process.
Yes.
That you're not having anyone tamper with anything. And so you make your submission, you have that sealed envelope, it will be broken when the committee sits.
And of course, if all that COVID, if I may add, persons can also submit those forms in a sealed online as well, at recognition.govt.lc, because, persons are trying their best to stay away from, commutes. And as a result of that, they can also submit the forms online.
Yeah, thank you. In addition to what my team member just mentioned, I think it's important that I also mention that, members of the committee, I didn't call names, but I think a lot of people would know who the members are if I call their names, and they can be free to even contact them directly to get more information if in case they need more clarity on the process. And I just want to mention Commissioner Milton Daisy. Everybody would know him. He's representing the seat of the commissioner on the committee. We have Mr. Cyrus Reynolds, who is chair of the Public and Teaching Service Commission. The opposition representative is Ms. Malaika Compton. And of course, the government's representatives are Mr. Wilbert King and Miss Sharon Ephraim. The secretary is Miss Irene Senkwa, and of course, yours truly.
As the chair.
Yes.
But and the committee doesn't go to sleep once the awards season is over. You are continuously, the life of the committee remains active. So you don't just spring up every time it's time for award season, do you?
Historically, yes, that's how it's operated. But we have new people, new blood, new energy on the committee. And, we have already started discussing how we are going to mushroom this thing into something bigger, so that we can perhaps do more leading up to the launch of the nomination process. I think this is what we are hoping to do. But in all fairness, I would say to you, that is how it has happened historically. We come alive at the launch.
At the launch. But
at the launch.
But certainly there are ways in which that you can extend to just keep the sensitization very, very aware in the consciousness.
Absolutely. We are hoping to do it differently going forward.
Yes. But I want to thank you so much. We've been speaking there with the chair for the National Awards Committee, Mrs. Mauricia Thomas Francis, and as well as the member of that committee, Ms. Sharon Ephraim. And don't forget, you have up until the 28th of January for you to be able to nominate individuals that you are aware of, your friends, family members, and so forth. individuals who have made indelible marks, contributions to the development of St. Lucia. We want to be able to celebrate these individuals on the national stage. So be sure to go out there, access those forms, go online, see what it is, look at the criteria, and fill out those forms in order for us all to be able to celebrate our outstanding St. Lucians. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Lisa Joseph. Until next time.